Now here we are going to solve few word problems, and while handling the word problem you should remember that if we are solving the trigonometric ratios with the right triangle, so this is the length, okay, length of elevator or the length of ladder or the string length. This is the vertical height or the altitude. Similarly, this is the horizontal distance from one point to the other point. So this normally is known as the horizontal distance. Now, if I am standing down and trying to look at this part, so the angle that I am trying to look at this star is said to be the angle of elevation because I am looking at the top. But if a pilot or a bird is at the top and they want to see some pole at the ground, okay, so it means that they are making the angle of depression because they are looking down. So these are the important things we should know while solving any kind of the word problems. Not only this, we should know that the word SOHCAHTOA help us to say that which formula is suitable to solve that kind of that particular situation. Let's try to understand this question. An airplane on the final approach descends at an angle of -3 degrees. So airplane, as you know, that it always be on the top, right? And it descends. Yani it is coming down and making an angle, of course, angle of depression of -3 degrees to the horizontal. What is its change in the elevation? Change in the elevation actually, it after it flies 6,000 feet horizontally. When it was flying 6,000 feet horizontally, I just told you that feet horizontal distance means the straight thing. Now you have to see that how much angle of elevation or the change in the elevation takes place, which means that the vertical height, how much it is, it has changed. So this is your x. Now if we just label the diagram, we know that this is our opposite and this is our adjacent because this is our 90 degree. So we know that TOA has the opposite and adjacent. So we can say that the tangent theta equals to opposite over adjacent. Now theta we already know that it's -3 degree. Opposite is the x and adjacent is 6,000 feet. If we cross multiply, we will get 6,000 times tangent of -3 degree equals to x. If you write in the calculator, make sure that the calculator in the degree mode and you just write down 6,000 times tangent of -3. So you will get -314.45. So -314 -314.45 or 0.4 feet. This is the height on which this is the change in the elevation after he flies 6,000 feet horizontally towards the runway. Now they are asking us another part. Next part is this: when the plane is at an elevation of 32 feet, okay, on its final approach, at what horizontal distance from the runway is it? So we have now to find out that if the elevation is 3200 and since it is descending, so we will write with the negative sign, and 3200 feet with the negative sign because it is descending. And after when the plane is at an elevation of 3200 feet on its final approach, at what horizontal distance from the runway is it? So the angle is same. The height they are saying right now becomes now 3200. What would be the horizontal distance? So same thing, opposite and tangent theta equals to opposite over adjacent, and opposite theta is negative 3 degree, opposite is negative 3200 feet, and the x we have to find out. To find out the x, we interchange the places of the angle and of the trigonometric ratios with the angle and the x value. So we write this in the calculator and get the answer. So we will get minus 3200 divided by tangent of minus 3 degrees, and our answer will be 61059.6. So this is how this much feet it would be when it is descending to 3200 from the runway. So the question is, from the top of a 100-foot lookout tower, how far was the fire from the base of the lookout? Okay, so here is the tower and here is the fire. And with the help of this figure, we can say that this is our theta. So opposite to theta is always be our opposite, and the horizontal distance is our adjacent side. So I told you in the start to memorize a word so kahtua. This helps us to understand that which formula will goes here. So I have O, I have A, which means I will use my tangent to a formula, according to which tangent theta equals to opposite over adjacent. Now theta means the angle, and if you look closely, the angle is given to me, that is 25 degree. Now opposite is my 100 feet and my adjacent I don't know, so I have to find. Now remember, if I have A over B equals to C and I need to find out the B, so the only thing is that I interchange the places of B and C. So B equals to C goes at the place of B and A stay as it is. So here I need to solve for x, which means I will bring the x here and tangent 25 at the place of x. Simple. So x goes on the top and tangent 25 goes in the denominator, whereas 100 is stay as it is. Now make sure that the calculator in the degree mode sometimes, but most of the times the students, they do not take care of this degree and radian. So 100 divided by tangent 25 degree. So the answer is 214.451. 45, and they are asking me to find out the distance in the feet. From a point 80 meters from the base of a tower, the angle of elevation is 28 degree. How tall is the tower? So look at this. This is my figure. So opposite to the angle, my side is said to be opposite, and horizontal distance is given to me, which is called adjacent. The reason is that opposite to 90 degree always be my hypotenuse, which I don't require. So again, I will use the word so, ka, tua, and I have the opposite and adjacent. So I am going to use the formula tangent theta equals to O over A. Whereas O is my x and A is 80, and here the angle is 28 degree. Now I need to find out the x, so I just bring the 80 here because I want to keep the x aside, and it will gives me 80 tangent 28 degree. Again I am telling you that make sure that the calculator is in degree mode. So this will gives me 42.536. So 42.54, and here they are telling me to use the meter as unit. Next part, a kite which is at a perpendicular height of 44 meter is attached to a string. So always the string is a hypotenuse to the 60 with a 60 degree angle to the horizontal. Find the length of the string. Remember that whenever we talk about the ladder's length, elevation length, string length, it always be a hypotenuse. Okay, so the angle is 60. This is my opposite, and opposite to 90 is my hypotenuse. So I have to find out the use. I know so, ka, tua. So the figures that I will use will be the sine, because I have my opposite, I have my hypotenuse. So sine theta equals to opposite over hypotenuse. Theta is 60 degree, whereas opposite is 44 and hypotenuse I don't know. In order to find the value of x, I interchange the places of x and sine 60 degrees. So sine 60 will go in the denominator and x in the numerator. Write it in the calculator. 44 divided by sine 60, and we will get 50.81. So it is 50.81 meters. So this is the length of the string.